Good morning from Norwich Station. I thought I'd ridden on my last Class 153 many years ago, as I'm pretty sure there's not many left in service. However, behind me there is the Visual Inspection Unit. It's an inspection train, it's painted bright blue, and with Network Rail, and we're riding around some of the railway lines around Norfolk this morning, maybe all day, to find out exactly what this train does.
Class 153s came about in the early 1990s when 35 units of Class 155, which were 2 cars in length, were split to create 70 single-carriage 153s. On each train, the original cab at one end remained, but a new, smaller cab had to be created at the other end of the new split train so that there was a driving cab at each end. And there are still several Class 153s used today in passenger service, mainly on Transport for Wales. But for our journey today, we're heading out onto the lines around Norwich. There's a whole team on board this morning, and I note that we're on train 2Q52, and I inspect the meticulous schedule. The whole day has been intricately planned, it has to be, to fit amongst other services on the network. And this trip came about when I saw this train in South London a few months ago, and I asked Network Rail what it was all about, and so they invited me out today on this trip, as Chris Denham explains.
Well, this is an old passenger train that's been converted to run for Network Rail. It's operated by Colas, and we use it for inspecting S&C, switches and crossings if you're a normal person, and it can also inspect plain line, but we mainly use it for S&C. And because it's small, it's only one carriage, it's brilliant for sneaking in and out of sidings and railway stations, and it fits everywhere, so it's absolutely perfect for us.
Today we're checking multiple platforms at Norwich Station, then we're going to Great Yarmouth via Burnley Arms, and we'll check all the platforms at Great Yarmouth. Then we'll go to Brundall, where we reverse, through Reedham, which includes an inspection of the swing bridge that's there, down to Lowestoft, a reverse at Beccles, and then back up through Norwich to Wymondham, where we'll reverse again and end our day back at Norwich. All being inspected by the camera technology, which I actually got to have a look at earlier with Mark before we set off.
So yes, we have a camera and lighting array under the train here, and there are 7 cameras under there. 3 look at one rail, 3 look at the other rail. They look at the web, the inside, the outside, and directly down onto the rail head as well, so you can see any defects on the rail head. There's also a camera in the middle that looks at the forefoot. But the key thing is we've got a lot of lights under there that maintain the same level of brightness all the time, whether it's inside, outside, in a tunnel, whatever, so the images are always consistent.
So we make a brief stop at the remote halt that is Burnley Arms. But then I want to know about AIVR, that's spelled AIVR. That's the software that's used in the track recording. It captures the data and then immediately sends it to around 10,000 people that use it, mostly in Network Rail. They can then make instant decisions on whether maintenance is required or not. And it's incredibly precise, as Jasper shows me.
So basically, I've just pulled up a session. This is from yesterday. We're on the swing bridge, so at the River Trowels, and basically you can review video footage. It's really high quality cameras we've got fitted to this, and you can have a look at forward-facing video, which gives all the people who work on the railway a great insight into what the condition of the assets on the railway are. There's lots of automated functions that we've got. So, for example, like if you want to find scrap rail that we found next to the railway, and you can just click that you want to see scrap rail, and it's going to bring up the detections, so you can then select through, and you can see I can just click through this list and it's just finding me scrap rail one after the other. So it really helps engineers be able to find the assets and the things that they're interested in finding.
And side by side with one of the new Stabler Flirt units at Great Yarmouth Station, I'm suddenly hit with a wave of nostalgia.
The rattle of a 153, which I'm sure I got when I did least used Buckingham. I think Burnley Arms was a Class 156. And being nostalgic, showing my age about this old train, because the new Flirt train just went out there definitely 8 years ago, but maybe even as recently as 5-6 years ago. All the crossing gates here, they were manual, like somebody would come out of the signal box and come, or the gatekeeper crossing box, and do the gates manually. They've now all been automated. However, the swing bridges, and I think there's 2. The famous one is at Reedham. That is not automated. That is still a manual task for someone to, press the button and make sure that the swing bridge is doing its job properly. But I'm being nostalgic. The rattle, the diesel noise of a 153 there.
I chat to Mark some more and discover that the 153s are ideal for this type of activity.
So one of the great things about these trains are that they're a single car, so drivers can change ends very quickly, so they're absolutely ideal for doing inspections in what I would sort of call congested areas, so like platform areas, stations, things like that, because you can quickly run them in and quickly run them out as well. Being a 153 as well, what we've done is we've taken the passenger steps off them, and they've now got route clearance pretty much everywhere as well. So they're, you know, they can pretty much go anywhere. They're diesel. They can do 75 miles an hour, so they can fit in traffic. So we're not running these at night and taking up possessions or anything like that. We're running them in traffic between passenger trains, having minimal impact on that, and they're gathering data all the time that they're running, which is another key aspect, because if you've got a train running around, you might as well have it gathering data.
And back on the train, Mark gives me a tour of the train.
So this is the business end of the train in here. So at the other end we've still got seats and everything, but in here everything has been stripped out. We've got various equipment that's been installed. So the biggest thing is this very large generator here, which is used to power the cameras, onboard cameras that look at the track and look at the infrastructure, look forward and backwards, as well as a thermal camera as well. We also have a track geometry system on board, which is underneath the train, or which is powered by this generator. This generator actually charges this array of batteries that we have here. The driver just drives the train, they don't do anything else. All of this is all automated, does everything it needs to itself, controls itself as well, and there's no one else on the train turning things on or off either. It's all fully automated. If you come this way a little bit, so we have the nervous centre here of the train, which is basically all of the control systems for the monitoring equipment on board. On the windows there, we have the systems that pump all the information out into the cloud to get processed to then get to the end users.
A huge positive for these visual inspection units is that it removes workers from the live railway. Previously, people would walk the tracks to inspect the line, a practice known as red zone working. But getting the Class 153 to do it is obviously much safer. The first unit started as a trial on the southern and eastern routes, and there's now currently 5 of these trains in total. And they work alongside other Network Rail inspection trains, such as the new measurement train, which is the HST that you may have seen out and about on the network. I chat to Jasper again, and he shows me some high-res images from today's data that's been captured and already sent back, and it's incredibly impressive how detailed it is. And then we head to Wymondham for our last reversal of the day, and we go there via a rare piece of track to the south of Norwich Station by going through Crown Point Depot.
So we're getting to drive through Crown Point Depot.
Well, so, yeah, it's like a
That is that's fantastic to see.
At Wymondham, we have 10 minutes of stand time, and fascinated as I am about the Class 153, I asked Nigel, who's been our brilliant driver for the day, does he prefer diesel trains or modern electric trains? And he talks about his extensive route knowledge as well.
The older it is, the better it is. So for the modern stuff, I've never driven any of the modern stuff, and I'm not likely to. I'm quite based in the traditionalist sort of diesel era. They asked me to transit a train from Derby down to London, and I asked for a specific route because I hadn't been over it for some time, and because it keeps up my route knowledge up to date. And they said yes, and I was like, get in.
And we're back at Norwich, where I chat to Chris again.
Thinking about the nature of the railway and how it's changed over the years, one of the things we've seen is that over the last 15 years, which is almost as long as I've been working for the railway, we've seen the number of asset failures drop by 50%, which is huge. And a lot of that is down to the use of technology like remote monitoring, trains like the one we've been on today. The kind of things we're seeing these days are north of 30 degrees again today, and that does have an impact on the infrastructure. So we're seeing a lot more weather-related disruption and slightly fewer of your more traditional sort of signal failures. But it's been a brilliant day. I'm so grateful to Colas, Network Rail, and all the technology guys on board the train today for making it possible. It's been brilliant.
And we're back at Norwich. Thus endeth my day on the Class 153 inspection unit. The next time that train goes through a platform where I'm waiting for a train and I see it pass through, I can watch my own video to find out all about it. I now know exactly who it is, what they are, how it works and what they do. That is fantastic. So my thanks to everyone I've met today, to the drivers, the Colas team, to Network Rail. Thank you, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.